राधाधर सुधापाना शालिने वनमालिने महाभाव स्वरूपास्त्वं कृष्ण प्रिय वरीयसे प्रेम भक्ति प्रवेदेवी श्री राधिका त्वं नमोस्तुते. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, the Cosmic Manifestation, text chapter number 10. Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. And text number 29. Adisora annapanana asan kushyantaranadayah nadya samudrascha tayos तुष्टि पुष्टि तद आश्रये आदित्सोरन्नपानानाम् आसन् कुक्ष्या अन्त्रनाद्ययः नद्यः समुद्राश्च तयोस् तुष्टि पुष्टि तद आश्रये आदित्सोः desiring to have annapananam of food and drink asan there became kukshe the abdomen antra the intestines nadayah and the arteries nadyah the rivers samudrah seas cha also tayoh of them tushti sustenance pushtihi metabolism tat of them ashrayah the source. Translation and purport by His Loving Divine Grace, Arvind Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When there was a desire to have food and drink, the abdomen and the intestines and also the arteries become manifested. The rivers and seas are the source of their sustenance and metabolism. The controlling deities of the intestines are the rivers and those of the arteries, the seas. Fulfillment of the belly with the food and drink is the cause of sustenance, and the metabolism of the food and drink replaces the waste of the bodily energy. Therefore, the body's health is dependent on the healthy actions of the intestines and arteries. The rivers and the seas, being the controlling deities of the two, keep the intestines and the arteries in healthy order. See this, most of the time, the Westerners, they ask, you Indians have so many gods. Why do you have it? What's the reason behind that? You have so many gods. You worship so many different deities. Why so? Exactly. That's the reason. If you work in some office, you do buttering to some person. Huh? What do you call it in English? Maska lagana. They call buttering? No, something else. Or they don't do that. Huh? Just cut off. They do it? Okay. Glorification is different. Glorification is always genuine when you glorify someone. Okay, you got it, what I mean.
Yeah.
So, we know who are these personalities, who are helpers, who are helping us in our day-to-day life. It's chapter 2, sorry, chapter 10, text number 29. 9. You got the proper reason actually behind that. Why we have to worship all other demigods? Because they are the controlling deities of our senses. I was just thinking, why they worship ocean? The reason behind ocean is that it gives, because it is Ratnagara. It's the storehouse of all the gems. That's why they worship. But real reason is given here. Because it controls all our arteries. If they stop working, get bedridden. You can't pass, you can't do anything. Everything gets tackled. So worshipping ocean, that's why when you go near the ocean, you feel that you get so energized. Huh? You have that feeling?
Nature is.
It's reciprocates immediately. And why the people, they used to have their houses around the rivers? The design is that these rivers are the deities of our intestines, which is essential part of the body. If they are weak, you are weak. So the essence of the body is taken care by the river. That's why they used to have a living around the rivers. If there is no water, can you stay? And being there, part and parcel and representative of the Lord for particular work, that's why they worship, they glorify that. Now I realize that in Ayurveda, most of the time, they give different prayers to chant to get rid of some disease condition of life. How naturally everything is connected with each other. And being all they are part and parts of the Lord, if you pray to the Lord, then everyone gets satisfied. But the people who don't know that, for them this worship has given. Okay. You are not of that level that you can understand Krishna is the supreme. You do this. Keep doing this, one day you will realize that Krishna is supreme. But if you offend simultaneously Krishna when you do service to them, no way you are going there. Then you will become a Ravana or even Hiranyakashipu. Like them. You will get killed by someone else, not by the Lord, because you will not become that big. So the reason behind deity worship is because there are some Alpamedhas who does not understand that Krishna is the source of everything. For them, as per their understanding and as per their level of absorption, they give particular deities. You worship this. Then in the next verse it is said, Niridhyasoratmamayam hridayam nirbhyatta tato manash chandrayiti sankalpa kamayevacha. When there was a desire to think about the activities of his own energy, then the heart, the seat of the mind, the moon, determination, and all desire become manifested. Okay, final. See how moon, mind, and determination has created. How they are related. When mind is disturbed, your heart becomes restless. It happens. Your heartbeat gets hit up like anything. Huh? Especially the people who has a weak mind, they get really disturbed during the waning of moon, during the Krishna Paksha. Why? If you look at the sky, moon is waning actually, becoming small. On the Amavasya day, you will find that the people are really disturbed like anything. Because that's the effect of moon on the mind.
That is the reason they say in astrology, moon rules the mind.
And who rules the moon? Because Chandra's Ishta Devata is Lord himself, because Lord appeared in his Kula, Somavanshi. Chandravansha Lord appeared. That's why he is known as the Chandravanshi. So whoever takes care, whoever takes shelter of their lordship, his mind gets control automatically. And that's why Lord says that Manmana Bhavamadvatra Mayeva Manadatsva. Engage your mind in me. Because mind has a typical characteristic, and that is determination. If it is determined, which in other way we can say obstinate. Obstinate means jiddi. If it gets on something, then you have to work for that. Whether your senses want it or not want it, whether your intelligence supports you or not. It wants it.
Mind is a friend or mind is an enemy.
Yes. Manayeva manushyanam karanam moksha bandayo. Bande vishaya sangat muktayeva niravishaya manaha. Mind is the cause of your bondage and liberation. If it is engaged with the Vishaya, very difficult. It's like a monkey trying to grab some horse gram, put it into jar. If it let goes, and he can able to take his hand out of the jar. But he does not want to leave it, and still he wanted to get rid of that. So that's what happened with our mind. Being in this material world, caught in this material body, we get so many desires to enjoy. Mind does not want to give them up. And still we wanted to get liberated. People, they do all this yoga, this and that. For what? Just to keep mind cool. Morning 1 hour they do yoga to concentrate, to strengthen their mind. And evening they go in the bar to booze. Huh? Does it going to help them out? Weekends they go and enjoy their senses at the most. Is that going to help them? No. If you really want to control the mind, what can control? Indriyana Manashasmi. Lord says, I am the mind amongst the senses. how you can control the Lord. Yes, Lord says, Aham Bhakta Paradina. Bhaktya to Ananya Shaktiya. Only by the devotion only you can control me. And if you control Lord, the mind will get controlled automatically. What's the big deal with that? This intricate relationship between the mind, the Lord, and devotional service need to be understood if you want to progress in your spiritual life. Otherwise, what happens? We work on one aspect, we forget the other. Most of the karmis, they work on what? Controlling mind, having seminars, mind control. Huh? What's the sense of that seminar? They took only physical and mental aspect for controlling mind. Physical aspect means having the good body. A sound body has healthy body has a sound mind. So if you are having a healthy body, that may have a sound mind. But that mind, if it is not actually engaged in the service of the Lord, then it's like a monkey. Monkey is most powerful and energetic animal. If you look at the tremendous energy that has, the mind has the same thing. If it is not utilized and engaged properly, then what will happen? Restless throughout life, and there will be no peace at all. So to make us understand that how things depends upon what. People listening, you get heart attack because your cholesterol increases. You get heart attack because your mind is not controlled. When it gets disturbed, it pumps like a, what they say, that if you release the pumping capacity of the heart, is like it can pump the water up to 21 floors. That much capacity is there. That much motor is there inside our heart. From where that capacity comes? And imagine if you have a high blood pressure, what it must be happening there. Huh? We don't know these things are with us, and we said, I'm self-realized. Ganta. Huh? What do you know about us? And we pretend that I know everything. These are the essential things about your own body you don't know. You have to go to doctor if something happens. My stomach is paining. Pay $200 to him for consultation. Sit in front of him and he will give a bunch of list. Go for this test, that test. And ultimately, after going through all the tests, he will say, nothing actually, there is some gastric problem. To just know that you have a gas in your stomach, you have to pay so much of money and waste so much of time. And we say that, I know myself, who am I, what I am. What do you know? We are so ignorant actually, even we don't have a common sense. Sorry to say that, but it's the fact. We don't know about own material body. Then what you will know about the material nature, what you will know about the person who has created this nature. You don't know the minute part and parcel of that material nature, which is our body. It's insignificant as compared to see whatever there in this world. The 5 elements. If you see the amount of the quantity which is present in front of us, just compare with the amount that we possess that material elements in our body. How much is that? All together comes in a one lota. When you burn this whole body, everything can be collected in one small 1 liter lota. That is what worth this body and whatever we carry throughout the life with us. Who we are. As long as we live, we carry so many designations. But at the time of death, everyone will get burnt at same place only. That 2.5 feet or 3.5 feet place. It never belongs to anyone. The same king will get also burned there, and same that beggar also will get burned there. Same thing. And throughout life, we work hard for achieving like, oh, when I was born in 10 by 10 feet room. Then I worked so hard. I did so much struggle in my life, and I got now 4 rooms blocked or 5 rooms blocked. For what? Nobody's there now. Kids, they grow up, they go somewhere. Nobody's there. Even you don't know that whether when you leave your body, whether they will be there to give you water or not. At least that's in Indian tradition. Here nobody cares. Because when they're born by chance actually. Not planned. So who born with a meaningless thing, what they will do throughout the life? Huh? They do the meaningless thing only, useless thing, and they will create. And that's what Arjuna has a fear. He don't want it to fight. Because there will be Varna Sankara, and the progeny born out of that Varna Sankara will create havoc in the society. And why there is a havoc in the society, Dore? Nobody knows whom they belong to actually. Previously, the person will be known by his gotra. Which gotra he has come from? We will tell that great Rishi, I am from a Kashyapa gotra, I am from Bhargava, I am from Bhagavad, Gautama, Shiva, Mandeshwara. Now you ask people, what is that? We go for puja, we ask them, what is your gotra? They say, what is that? You don't know your family identity. What do you know about yourself? And we claim that we are so much literate, I have done 3 PhDs, 4 MS, and this and that. But you don't know about your own family. What we are gathering actually throughout life? Just pebbles? That which we can't carry with us? Where we are going? No aim. As per the Vedic scripture or Dharma Shastra, that animal is known as a human being who knows about his own dynasty. Even we are not that even an animal. Because animal also, they know the particular dog comes from particular breed, it goes along with that only. You never see that this animal go along with that animal. Now these rascals, they are doing something, some nonsense to create something. They follow their own clan, at least. What the so-called Vipad Pashus they are doing? Birds of same feather flock together. What's happening with the so-called human being now? In that Shanti mantra we chant that now. Shanno dvipade shan chatushpade. The last one. Tasya yoradani me gatam yajnayi yajnapade. Daivir swastirastunaha. Swasti manushebhyaha. Swasti jigata bhushajam. Shanno dvipade sham chatushpade. I was wondering, what is this dvipada pashu? Because already they have said Shanno Manusha. With Manushas, okay, for Manushas that there should be a peace. Then why again that Dvipad and Chatushpa? Yes. Who are these 2-legged animals? Who does not have any realization about Vedic scripture? They are considered as a Dvipad Pashu only. Maybe a dog with a proper British hat, big cigar, nice Russian coat. What is that? Now everything made of China. But it's animal. Unless and until we realize the essence of life, See, these are the primary things which are considered as a common thing in previous eras, and people were literate in that. Like my grandfather, if he used to tell us that tomorrow there is going to be a rain, so please take out the raincoats and your shoes. It will be better for tomorrow. And there will be rain tomorrow then. And nowadays they have these satellites, this light, that light, but their prediction are always, and then they will say, actually, because of this has happened. They have if and buts for their saying. But our scripture, they don't have if and buts for that. It is means it is. No if and but for that. Because everything is meticulously precise. It's not just fake, what they call. हवा की बातें कहते हैं. वैसे हवा में ही बातें करते हैं हम अभी. कौन क्या है? Making castles in air. Actually, they are running castles in air. What is this satellites? Huh? The heart of every living entity is the seat of the super soul Paramatma, a plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of God. Without his presence, the living entity cannot get into working energy. According to his past days, the living entity who are conditioned in the material world are manifest in the creation in terms of respective inclinations inherent in them. And the requisite material body is offered to each and every one of them by the material energy under the direction of the super soul. Karmana daiva netrena jantur deha pratakti. This explained in the Bhagavad Gita 9.10. When the super soul is situated in the heart of the conditioned soul, the requisite mind is manifested in the conditioned soul, and he becomes conscious of his occupation as one is conscious of his duties after waking up from a slumber. Therefore, the material mind of the living entity develops when the super soul sits on his heart, after which the mind, the controlling deity moon, and then the activities of the mind, namely thinking, feeling, willing, are all take place. The activities of the mind cannot begin without the manifestation of the heart. And the heart becomes manifested when the Lord wants to see the activities of the material creation. The seat for the mind is heart. When Lord desires to get done the activities, then heart gets created, then gets created mind, and then the controlling deity of mind is moon. And what is moon? Have you do like this? My mind is not working, or you do my mind is not working. How you do that? How you indicate? No, my mind is disturbed. You do like this, my mind is disturbed, you do like this. My mind is disturbed. Here? The mind resides here? Really? But it is said that mind resides here. Mere mana mandir mein aa jao. When we sing this song, because see Hindi and Devanagari, that shows the proper way. Maybe in English you have to say like this. But in other Devanagari languages, they say, mind is here. Mere man mandir mein aa jao girdhari. They never say mere man mandir mein aa jao girdhari. Do they say?
Mind is a certain body, so exactly has no kind of maybe here.
What may be? Lord says, I stay in everyone's heart. Where soul resides? And what is our subtle body? Mind, intelligence and ego. Where mind resides then?
Ego.
Me. We never say me, do you? It's me. Who is here? It never goes that it's me or it's me. Has anybody says like that? No.
I believe that the super soul is in the heart, and the super soul being in the heart activates the consciousness, and the consciousness is mind.
Oh, really?
That's how I interpret those two lines.
So mind is here. Because it resides, it sits in heart. If heart is here, then how you will say mind is here? Huh?
But Prabhu, then it says that activates the mind and then you're thinking. How do you think?
How you think means?
Like you think like, suppose you give me a word, I think how I do that. The thinking comes from where? From the mind.
Mind. Thinking, feeling, willing, that's the characteristic of mind. That's the work of mind. Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Accepting something, rejecting something. Then you must be wondering what intelligence does that. Thinking is the function of mind, then what intelligence does? मेरा दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा है. You never say बुद्धि, you say दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा है. This gross thing you considered as intelligence. ऐसे नहीं करेगी मेरी बुद्धि काम नहीं कर रही है. मेरी बुद्धि काम नहीं कर रही है. See, intelligence has a function of what mind thinks, it gives purport on that. Which is good, which is bad. That is the work of intelligence, to decide. Intelligence itself never thinks about anything else. That capacity is not there with the good thing. It's the capacity of mind. But intelligence gives what is good and what is bad. And that intelligence comes from the Lord. We have material intelligence, but that is not useful. That is always get overruled by the mind. Mind says, hey, right? I don't care about you. You may be sitting on my head. But everything works as per my will and wish. And that's what happens. If you have uncontrolled mind, you may have a very good intelligence. What is the use? You see the most havoc created in this world by the most intelligent people, whose mind is not controlled. Hitler. Genius guy, you know, to control German peoples. Oh, that easy. The people who have a German shepherd, they know. Even to control the German shepherd is difficult, then what to speak of the human beings there. But just by his words, they were ready to give up their lives. He was a very intelligent person, but uncontrolled mind. When Subhash Chandra Bose, Netaji, he met him. He said he's an excellent person, but without mind. And I can't work with a person who does not have a mind. He said, he never go along with. He came from there. Our leaders, they gel with the people who has a proper mindset. You may be intellectual, but if you don't have a proper mind, it's like a knife in the hands of a robber, a knife in the hands of a doctor. What will happen?
They say that people with long eyebrows, long swirly eyebrows, don't have a proper mind. And you can just look at them and you know just by their eyebrows.
Oh, eyebrows tells you. That is a Samudrik Shastra. By seeing particular symptoms on a face, you can make it out how that person's mind is. That's what previously when they used to go see the girl for marriage, they used to carry a few people who really has that sixth sense very strong. And just by looking at the face, they used to tell, hey man, you are going to get a humanist in your house, or you are going to get a Lakshmi at your house. Nowadays, they check everything, but turns out everything wrong. Because nobody has that common sense, which was prevalent previously, and which is uncommon now. And someone has a common sense, they give him a Nobel Prize. He becomes that good. Apple always fell down before Newton also. It's not that he finally found it out there. But he used that common sense. And we, people who born with a nonsense, we are studying in the school as one of the laws, principles of life. And resting out. Since childhood, you know that when you throw up, it comes down only. Why? It is Gurutva Akarshan. Guru means which is heavy. The heavy thing attracts the small one. So everything comes down. Mother is most heaviest thing in all the elements. That's the grossest thing. So these are the common things that people, they don't understand. Tvaksharma mamsam rudira medo majjas dhatavaha bhumya apatejo mayah sapta prano vyoma bhuvyayuthi. The 7 elements of the body, namely the thin layer of the skin itself, the flesh, the blood, fat, marrow, bone, are all made up of earth, water and fire, whereas the life breath is produced by the sky, water and air. The construction of the whole material world is prominently made by the 3 elements, namely earth, water and fire. But the living force is produced by sky, air and water. See, you can live without food. You can live without water, but you can't live without air and sky. Sky means ether. Ether means akash. Wherever there is a ether means open space, you feel fresh. Because from that, what comes? The life force. And that's why people who wanted to have a peace of mind, where they go? They prefer to go to woods or Himalayas. Why? There is an enveloped space. Everything is open and air is fresh. So they get enlightened there. Nowadays people, they think that hot yoga. Keep temperature like a 45 degree and do yoga. What the hell you are going to do that? Is that going to help you? It may make you hot and horny, but not yogi, at least. And we have seen what has happened with that hot yogi. Where he is now? He's underground now. So whatever nonsense you come up with, that itself buries you in the earth. So need to follow as it is, whatever there in this book. And here the subtle science has given how, if you really want to control your mind and remain energetic, then always have a free space. Don't keep things congested. And what's that? Cluttered? Cluttered means what? So many things. If you just grab, okay, someone is giving, get it, keep it, get it, keep it. But is that useful for you? Because that creates a dead energy. Even it may be a new thing, but if you are not using and just keeping it, it's a dead. And that will create its own aura, dead aura. And that will impact on you. That's why previously Brahmanas, whenever they used to get something, they used to give it. They don't used to clutter or they don't used to dump things with them. And that's why they remain in the mode of goodness. As you start stocking, what you are stocking the dead energy. And what will happen then? One day some crack fellow comes as a leader and he says demonetization. And whatever you are cluttered for years together, what happens? It becomes only paper, no use of at all. So just dumping and keeping and stocking is not good at all. You can't grow them. Even business also, you need to have a working capital, no? Moving things. If it is rotating, then you feel fresh. And it is explained in Niti Shastra that Bhata Pani Ramta Yogi, they always remain pure. It's the water, if it keeps moving, running water is always considered as a fresh water. And the sadhu is always considered glorious if he keeps traveling. If he is stuck at one place, there is some problem. And it happens. Because it's human nature. If you are at one place, get stagnant with something, the dead energy starts working on you. So it's better to keep moving. Because that moving itself will give you a space. Will give you a breathing place. When you breathe properly in an open space, your mind remains fresh. Then you can enlighten yourself in the spiritual life. Otherwise, get stuck. And that's why it says that you should have a pilgrimage, you should have a Tirtha Yatras once in a year. You should go out of your routine things, visit the places where you will get the spiritually surcharged. Your battery gets surcharged for the whole year, and you can use it for the whole year. That's why it's needed. But when they go, oh, now we have a long weekend, you know, going to San Diego. Huh? They never think about, okay, now I got a long weekend, let me attend every day Mangal Aarti. And we claim ourselves as a devotee. You know, 6 years I'm going to temple, 8 years, 10 years I'm going. But don't know how to utilize my time. Spare time with your family, at home, at the same place where you are spending your year together. At that same place, if you create that vibration of love and proper relations, that vibration will remain at least for a year. You go and show that now outside somewhere on the beach, somewhere in some hotel. Is that going to help you to nourish something? No. See, these are the small things, but has a long effect in your life. The same house where you are, like all the week along, you don't get time to spend with your family. You may be at home, but you are not with them. But when you get a long weekend, at least you should spare that time with them. In the same place where you are staying. But the concept is that to enjoy your senses of fullest extent, so go out. And that's what we are training our kids. That real happiness is outside, not at home. Getting it? Huh? We are creating or disintegrating our own family. What we are claiming? Hey, let's go out, man. We are got bored. What? Coming at home, you are getting bored. Being with your own family, you are getting bored. You wanted to go out somewhere to find some pleasure. It's nonsense. We never think about this. Do we really? This needs to be worked out. See, these are the small aspects to become a good human being. I'm not telling about being a devotee. Being a devotee, he may go anywhere. Harava Bhaktasya or Narayana Parasarve. They don't mind going anywhere because wherever they go, they carry their Lord in their heart. We are not. At home itself becomes difficult for us. In front of the Lord itself, we shout at our family members. We yell at them. We forget that Lord is there. We think we are the controller of my house. We don't think that there is deities. They are there. And they are. Nobody is looking, at least they know that. We don't care about it. We think that will be going to help us out. You may chant for millions of lifetimes, but you don't realize that here is Lord. We may sing very sweetly and nicely, Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha, Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Do we have that realization? Really we mean it? What do we say? We are so unconscious for the things that we are doing. How you can make progress in spiritual life then? Huh? And to make us conscious, all this explanation has given. So that each and every time we can realize, man, you are not the doer. Someone else is there who is controlling you. Don't think that I can do. No. See, it's not that easy to have an understanding that Bhoktaram Sarva Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Nyatma Mam Shantim Gacchati. Very easily also sometimes while preaching we say, Are, you want a peace? Just consider that Krishna is enjoyer of everything. When you say that, do you have that realization? We are just parrot, rattling, nothing else. But really we do mean it. To mean that, we should understand that all your senses, their activities are controlled by some demigod who is in charge of that. And we think that I'm doing it. Then how you will understand that it is done by the Lord? We are in such a illusion. That's why you find that the person who makes progress in spiritual life, he always think, it's the worst condition of my life, what I am. Because he realizes each and every moment how things are controlled by the others in my own life. I was just thinking that why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, when they pray, they put themselves so low. Because they are realized soul. They know it. This is what? Our precarious condition in this material world. When they say that Adama Patita Jana Karo, that means they really mean it. We may sing it melodiously so that others can hear and they afterwards say, Wow, Prabhu, how nicely you sing. We sing for that praise and glorification. But all the great personalities, when they pray to the Lord, they mean it. And that's what Prabhupada said. You don't have that intelligence to understand. At least pray. At least repeat their prayers. And one day, when you really think about that, sit with a peaceful mind and just read the prayers, contemplate on that, then you will realize what it means. Otherwise, every day we sing this Narsimha or Samsara Dava. But really we contemplate on that. If you really understand them, this life is enough for you. It's essential to work on this. Today evening we will discuss what are the qualities of a person who wants to make progress in spiritual life through hearing. How one should cultivate the habit of hearing. What are the different kinds of hearers, the people who hear. That we will discuss in the end. So any question, comment?
Say heart, scripture, Hudaya. The same as the biological heart or heart is same.
Heart. Nothing else. That's heart. It's a gross. It's not subtle. It's the gross sense of the body. It's not a subtle sense like a mind and intelligence. Okay.
Is it kind of like the seed
Someone reported your heart. No? You had heart surgery? No.
Yes.
You had. So what they found inside? They saw mind, intelligence somewhere there. No.
The seed of God is in the heart.
Seed or seed?
Seed.
Seed. SEED. What is mean by that? SEAT seed, that I know.
SEED. Seed.
What's that? Where you read it?
You read about it there, the seed of God.
When it was? That's get planted by the spiritual master. Ah. Heart is like a fertile soil. You have to make it fertile, then spiritual master, he puts that seed of Bhakti Lata. Heart does not have that seed, but it has a seed where a Lord can see. Bolo Nada.
The consciousness is present in everyone's heart, but it's dormant.
See, it's a consciousness. Jiva, by nature, is pure, but he got covered with this material body. So it is there. Like you have a diamond, but it is covered by the coal. You will not see the brightness of that. As you start breaking that coal, then you will realize inside there is a diamond. And because of that covering, you will consider it as a coal and you will throw it. Same way, the soul is pure by nature, but got covered. That's why he has lost his identity. As the diamond got covered with the coal, so you consider it the coal. Unless and until you break through that covering, you will not realize your identity. And that's why he said it is dormant. But you need a push, something in the dormant stage. To make it active, it should come in contact with the active thing. Only moving thing can make things movable. Like this asana is here. Unless and until someone picks it up and keeps aside, it will not move. So it has to come in contact with the living thing, which is moving. So same way, the permanent Krishna consciousness that soul has with him can get activated when it comes in contact with the living saint or sadhu. Because they are living with that consciousness. So they can activate. What does this initiation mean? This is what? Activating, channelizing your energies for the service of God. Okay? Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.